You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Snap, the kick, it's been blocked again! Oh my! It's been blocked again! It's going to heave one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have won the game! Tyree Cleveland! Oh my! I can't believe what I just saw! Dropping back to throw. Thompson fires the ball over the middle. It's Torre! It's Torre! Got a touchdown! Torre's got a touchdown! Oh man! Torre's got a touchdown! Hands it off to Marvin. He comes back. Say goodbye.
Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out the winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
What is going on, Gator Nation? I'll leave the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Silk. This is a new segment for me. Got some extra time on my hands, so we're coming to you live Wednesday night as the new SEC injury availability report, they don't want to call it injury report, comes out, and wanted to break some of this down for you. So we will be coming daily-ish, I think is how we're calling it now, right now, in the interim. With some updates, breaking news, pop-up interviews, stuff like that. Just some extra content from me and from the Stadium and Gale team. So appreciate you showing up. And we're going to hop right into the topic of Wednesday night injury report. Not great for the Gators. Let me pop this up on screen. Jakeem Jackson, Jason Marshall, Eugene Wilson, Treyon Webb, Graham Mertz, Asa Turner, Khalil Jackson, Devin Moore, Devin Manuel, Jamari Lyons, all out. The big one I think we'll talk about already being ruled out is Eugene Wilson. Trey is missing the rest of the season with a injury. Billy Napier on Wednesday called it a genetic hip issue. They got to a point where they had to clean it up. He said they exhausted all resources. I think we made the best decision for his long-term career in terms of little things that the injury was causing from a competition standpoint. It was a great surgery. They got to the root of the problem. Trey spent his bye week in Chicago getting it looked at, and then had to go back and eventually get the surgery done. The surgery was done last week. Going to be out for the year. But I think this kind of puts to bed some of the rumors that Trey didn't like his situation, didn't like the offense, and was making business decisions. I think we're looking at a guy who has gone through a couple of injuries this season. Unfortunately, this is a receiver who Billy Napier, as I followed him around the spring, continued to tell people, hey, we're going to get our money's worth out of Trey. Trey's going to be tired. He was going to be a huge part of the offense. And unfortunately, with the knee injury and now the hip injury, and maybe the knee injury is coming because of this genetic hip issue. And you hope that, going to Chicago, going to a well-respected specialist, get this cleaned up. Billy Napier said the hip injury and the surgery went as good as possible. So done for the year. Trey only played in 4 games, redshirt eligible, and Florida certainly will want to get him back into the fold. And if you can get him back for a redshirt sophomore year with DJ Lagway, you start to feel really good about the pieces Florida brings back. But not having Trey this week, we've talked about a ton. The best ability is availability. Devin Moore already being ruled out. I don't know what the deal is with that Jacksonville turf. But it's taken no prisoners for Florida the last 2 years. Shamar James had his kneecap dislocation in pregame, and then you had a couple other injuries. I mean, Austin Barber didn't show up on here, but he's a guy who was limping around on the field at the end of the game. He's a tough kid. Played through a bunch of injuries last year. He got dinged up against Tennessee, appeared on this injury report a couple of weeks in a row. But he's going to be fine. But I think not having Jakeem Jackson, who has only played in 2 games. If you look at his roster page, I don't know if they've fixed it, but on his roster page a couple of weeks ago, it said he was out for the year, but hasn't played since the second game of the season. You're out Jason Marshall. You've been out Asa Turner since the opener, and now out Devin Moore. That means Dijon Mustard needs to play. You need to have Cormani McLean ready to go this week. And if we scroll down, which we will, you'll see Isaiah Bond, Texas's best receiver, the former Alabama receiver, probable to play. He's a problem, even if you're fully healthy. Isaiah Bond is a guy that's going to create mismatches for the Texas Longhorns and for the Gators. So it's a big task for Florida. I think you'll see more of Aaron Gates. You'll see more of Sharif Denson. The Gators are going to have to find a way. That's a good room. It's a room that's certainly deep. And you can tell just by the guys that the week, to me, this is tough. A grade 2 strain with a hamstring, you're looking at typically 3 to 8 weeks. Hamstrings can be tricky. Hamstrings can be something that lingers. I remember Keanu Neal dealing with hamstrings, and once you get one, it kind of the only thing that can help it is rest. But this game means so much to DJ Lagway, and it means so much to him and his family getting back to his home state, a chance to play. We talked to Hayden Hansen a little bit earlier this week about his opportunity to come back and play and in front of his home fans in his home state. So it's something that, I look at and I think, man, this is an incredible opportunity for DJ to go back and one that he's not going to want to waste. So looking at it, you give him the credit for toughing it out. But certainly to me, it would be a long shot to see DJ go, full go this week at Texas. I would say doubtful, but give him credit for giving it a shot and giving and trying to go this week. Looking at the rest of Florida's injury report, I think Cam Jackson would be a big one. Damian George as well. And then Elijah Badger. You're talking about having to go into Texas, take on the Longhorns without potentially your leading receiver, your number 1 quarterback, without your starting running back in Montrell Johnson, and then without a starting offensive lineman and a starting defensive lineman. This is eerily similar to 2013 injury reports where Florida was struggling during that 4-8 season. So it's really tough for Florida, and you've got to come up with a game plan. There's still no excuses. It's an end some business for the Gators. So 21.5 point underdog for the Gators this week. I think if DJ Lagway is healthy and ready to go, you're not looking at that kind of spread, but it's going to be touch and go for Florida this week. We're going to have to watch Thursday, Friday, as the injury reports continue to be upgraded. My opinion, I'm not going to count DJ Lagway out. I learned to stop counting out, guys like Graham Mertz, stop counting him out, but it seems like he's got a lot to deal with in order to come back. And you have to wonder what's the long-term risk of trying to rush him back too quickly, with a hamstring injury, and is resting it better? Is resting him this week to maybe have him a little bit healthier for LSU or a little bit healthier for Ole Miss or near 100% for FSU at the end of the season? Is that better? You might have to make an adult decision for a young competitor Saturday who is going to be going through the emotions of, I'm going back to Texas. You're not keeping me out of this game. Good luck you're going to have to tell me the wrong time that the plane leaves and leave without me to keep me off the field. But sometimes as a coach or an adult in the situation, you've got to just step in and keep a competitor away from hurting himself even more. So it's going to be tough. Florida's got to come up with a game plan. Aiden Warner has been taking the first team reps. Clay Milne will be his backup. And we talked a lot about that in the situation Florida's in at quarterback, but not many teams, whether you have a blue chip as a third string or not, would look their best offensively dealing with a third string quarterback on the road. So Florida's going to have to come up with a game plan. Texas is good. They're coming off of a bye week and able to prepare for this. So we'll check back in probably Thursday night as we see this. Hopefully you start to see some of these questionable guys coming off of the report entirely, and you don't want to add any more. Additionally, I think it was Graham Hall broke the news about Trey Webb that he was having surgery. He would be out. So if you can't have Montrell, you're really a two-headed backfield there with Jaden Ball and Jakeem Jackson, and Jacoby Jackson. So limping into Austin. I won't be in Austin. I'm missing out on the barbecue. If you're there, let us know. Dan's got all of the recommendations for you in the city of Austin. First time, we're going to get these audio issues fixed out thanks to super producer Dan letting me know what I was doing wrong there. I signing off for tonight, but I will see you guys nearly daily. We'll figure it out, a new schedule for all of this. And until tomorrow, see you, Gator Nation.